In today's video, we're going to learn how to just go from this, which looks like a regular quadratic, ax squared plus bx plus c, into this thing that we call factored form. Factored form essentially looks like this. A, which is, guess what, the same value as here up top, is usually factored out so that you can have something like this. X plus something times x plus something. It won't always look like this, and we'll have different examples as to what that will be. But essentially, you might be asking, wait, what in the world is going to go inside these? These are essentially the numbers, and, well, in order for us to find these numbers, we essentially need to find two of these so that ultimately it can create back into our equation. The way that we need to do this is what we call the X method. It's a very common method across all high schools and essentially how we factor, but essentially it's this. You take the X, the factored form, and essentially what you want is two things. You want B and C. What this means is that you're trying to find C and see if you're going to multiply to it. So you're asking yourself, what are two numbers that can possibly multiply out to C? Well, here is B, where you're going to add up to B. So let's just do an example, because I feel like sometimes seeing an example would help. Suppose I have, for example, x squared plus 6x plus 8. I want to figure out its factored form. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out its factored form. I noticed that here, that for a, it's 1. There's no number in front of the x squared, so I can just put 1 for now. Then what I can do is do the same thing. Fill in the blanks. X plus something times x plus something. This means that for some two numbers, it's going to multiply out to get hopefully the 8 and can add up to the 6. So we're going to write that down in the X method. In the X method, I'm going to just remember that it has to multiply out to 8 while add up to 6. Now, at first glance, and that might be really hard to do so, but usually what we do when it comes to these factorization is we need to figure out ways to multiply to that number. We always start with number 1. That's always a pro tip. So pro tip is you always start with 1. Because we know that any number times 1 is itself. So let's just get that straight. I know that 1 times 8 gives me 8. I for surely know that. Now I have to ask myself, are there any other numbers that can multiply out to 8? And the answer to that is, of course. We have actually here 2 times 4, also giving me 8. Now, again, I can try other numbers too. I can try maybe 3, I can try 4, maybe 5, maybe 6, and maybe 7. But if I look at all of these, the only one that I see that can multiply out to 8 is here at 4 times 2. The rest of them, of course, can, but they'll be decimals. So we can just ignore these altogether. We don't need to use these just because they are not perfectly two numbers that multiply out to 8. Okay, so I have here my example. I have now my two numbers that multiply out to 8, but what I also need to do is I need to add them up so that they become that number on the top, 6. So let's do that one at a time. If I did 1 plus 8, will that give me 6? Obviously no, that gives me 9. Let's try the next one. 2 plus 4, hey, that gives me 6. And the same can happen for the reverse. 4 plus 2, that gives me 6. So these two check out. But this one, the one that I found as 1 times 8, does not. So guess what? We're also going to eliminate it. Knowing that these two answers, the 2 and the 4, are my factored for 8, and they can add up to 6, we're going to write that as our answer. So 2 and 4. We just completed X method. And luckily, the X method tells us that these two answers are actually what we're going to put inside. So from this, our answer is going to be x squared plus 6x plus 8 equals x plus 2, parentheses, x plus 4. And that is our final answer.